Hey guys, it's Michelle from Cozyegg, and this is episode 85. Today is Friday, April 10th, 2020, and I'm coming to you from self-isolation. The last time I recorded was, of course, about a month ago. I'm trying to stay on my regular schedule. And what I mean by that is normally I record when Eric is not here. Obviously, that is not an option at the moment, so I'm recording on a Friday instead of my normal Monday night when I normally record, but trying to do it when I normally would. And I don't know if you can hear that, but Tut is meowing because he wants up on the table, which he is perfectly capable of getting up here, as we all know, because there is video proof of that. Anyway, so I have been home. I guess Sunday will be 30 days. And when I say I have been home, I mean I have not left the house at all. Not at all. Now really, honestly, that's not a huge hardship for me because I'm a homebody and I normally work from home, which you guys know. So, that hasn't really changed at all. I'm, lucky in the sense that I'm not somebody that normally doesn't work from home that's now having to transition to working from home, which is a challenge. And of course, I'm extremely grateful that I am still able to work and, have a job and all that good stuff. But certainly, as an introvert, one of the things I need is time by myself. There's none of that. So, what are you going to do? But we are hanging in there. Eric is, going to the grocery store as minimally as absolutely possible. And really, that's it. So, he normally also works from home, but then he does go out and see clients, which obviously he cannot do. So he's trying to work remotely with folks as he can. And he does also go and teach in-person classes and events, which he cannot do. So he has been doing a fair amount of online webinars and, hosting events virtually, which I think is great. And, that's allowing him to continue, sort of continue doing what he had been doing, which is good. So, otherwise not much else to report. I am in North Texas. We have stay-at-home orders. Some people are following them, some people are not. Case in point being my neighbors. But what are you gonna do? So, and we also, our house backs up to a huge park. And because we've had nice weather, that park has been packed full, more so than normal, triple the amount of normal people that you would have in the park. Whatever, I'm just here in my house. So, I do have a couple of other videos that I have planned that I thought I would do. Obviously, with people staying at home, I have heard that it's helpful to people to have, more videos to watch, etc. And I have certainly appreciated, um, you know, people that are still doing videos and people that are doing more videos. During March, Abby Bellastitch was doing daily videos while she did her, March Madness stitching and showing what she started each day, and I really enjoyed those videos. Caroline from Off the Grid has been doing daily crafty chats, and I really appreciate those, and I actually look forward to watching them each night, or every other night if I can't get to it one night. So I've really enjoyed those. I've really looked forward to it. And then also, in case you missed it, my friend Robin, My Life's a Stitch, has started doing Flosstube videos. She has 3 videos out. She just uploaded her 3rd one a few nights ago. So if you haven't checked her out, go take a look. She has some really great pieces. She just finished Rachel Howells by Scarlet House. I almost said Scarlet Letter. By Scarlet House, and so she's definitely worth a look. So definitely go check her out, and then also if you are looking for some daily videos, go check out Caroline from Off the Grid. But as I was saying, I have a couple of ideas for other videos that I was going to put up. That one is stitching related, one is not. But I thought I might do those, now is a good time to do them. And I have also been toying with the idea of doing some more vlog style videos so that I can potentially put out videos a little more frequently than once a month. We'll see. While nothing much has changed with regard to work for me. I was working from home. I'm still working from home. The projects that I'm working on are still full steam ahead. For some reason, it has seemed a lot busier at work. And I don't know if it's because it actually is busier at work or if it's because dealing with the additional, stress of things has given me less resources than I normally have to, do my day job, basically. I don't know, but it just seems like the days are really full, and at night it's about all I can do to just stitch and veg. So my guild that I've talked about, the Tutorist Sampler Guild, we actually had a virtual meeting this past Tuesday night, which was our regular meeting night. And we did a Zoom video, which was video chat, which was fun. I think there were about 20, 25 of us on there. So we were able to, our president was able to do announcements, and we were able to talk about a few things. And then on top of that, do show and tell and, show some of our finishes and what we're working on. And so that was fun. It was a nice change of pace. And I do find that, even though I'm still working, even though that hasn't changed, my schedule is so disrupted that I'm starting to lose track of the days. And I didn't think that would happen because obviously I'm still working, Monday through Friday and doing meetings and, all of that stuff that I normally do. So, but all this week, it seemed like I had no idea what day of the week it was. I kept, when I would go to look, at my meeting schedules, I kept looking at the wrong day. I didn't think that I was that regimented, outside of work, but apparently it's enough to kind of, shift everything. So anyway, I mentioned last time that I was having issues with my eye. It is better. I did go and see my eye doctor when I got home from Miami. And I think I saw him like that following Wednesday. So like when I recorded, I think I saw him maybe that following Wednesday. I had a follow-up. He then sent me to a retina specialist, and I was supposed to have a follow-up a week ago, 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. But of course, by that point, we were locked down. So I've not been back. It seems better, but I'm still just sort of monitoring it. This past weekend, I had a bad day, but then it seemed to get a little better. So just, hanging in there. So, see, you were able to get up there just fine. Let's talk about, I'm going to just, instead of sort of doing finishes and whips and then new whatever, I'm just going to sort of talk in order, chronologically, because that's sort of how I think. So we'll just go with that. So when we talked last, of course I had my new start when I was in Miami, and then I got the bee in my bonnet that I was going to work on Dutch Beauty for Dark 13 stitching, and then also because, I was all hepped up, to use Laura's term, hepped up about my Gothic sampler wall. So I did get Dutch Beauty out, and I did do some work on it. So let me show you that. This is in my ginormous bag. So, I worked right here. And what's difficult about this piece, of course, is that I'm choosing my thread colors as I go because I'm doing a complete conversion to darker, more Gothic-y colors. So this urn had been filled in with a gold that I thought was too bright. Once I started putting in these flowers, I decided, no, it's definitely too bright. So I ripped all that out. I left the outline, which was a darker gold. I ripped all that out. I left the outline, and I haven't started filling it back in yet. Mainly because this dark brown in here, I think I'm going to have to take out and replace it. I did work on the flowers some, and I wanted to get some red in here. But and the reason that I went with these red flowers is because someone had posted some beautiful photos of hellebore. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Which I think are also called Christmas roses. But they were this beautiful, beautiful deep red, kind of almost a burgundy color, and I thought, what a perfect choice for doing on my Dutch Beauty. So that's why I chose that. But I will be honest with you, as I was working on this, because I was having to make so many decisions, like, you know, do I rip this gold out? If I take that gold out, what do I put in its place? Okay, if I put this sort of dark charcoal gray in its place, then I have to replace this dark brown. What am I going to replace that with? You know, the way that this big urn of flowers is charted is that there are 3 or 4 different colors of flowers in it. Do I want to do 3 or 4 colors of flowers? Do I want to do 1 or 2? And if so, you know, what am I going to use to go with this, you know, red that I've chosen? That was just too many decisions to have to make. With everything that's going on and, you know, whatnot, that was just a big no. So I worked on this a few nights and then I set it aside because I was like, I just can't. It's just, it was taking way, way, way too much brain power to work on this. And that, well, if I stay still, that may be kind of accurate on the fabric color. Yeah, it's a little bluer, not purple, gray. Anyway, this is on 40 count mallow linen that I dyed myself. I'm using a combination of DMC, overdyed cotton, silk, whatever the heck I feel like. And obviously I'm doing my own conversion. So that's all I got done before I put it away because I just couldn't. So. I'll get back to it at some point when I have the functionality to be able to process. So I set that aside and then I was trying to decide, okay, now what do I work on? And so I decided that I needed something small. Carolyn was doing a self-care new start and I, you know, kind of wanted to start something, but I kind of didn't because I have 1.5 billion whips. So I remembered that I wanted to continue stitching the freebies from the primitive hair. So the next one, you remember I showed you my the one for in bulk awakening. This one is for Astara and it's spring celebration. These are on her blog. They're free. She has one for each Sabbath. There's my conversion that I did. And you may recall that I stitched this previously for a friend of mine. I stitched her the Yule one and the Astara one, and I finished them into those oval ornaments. The ornament for Astara is not finished yet. I need to finish sewing the trim on. So I went pulling threads for this, and then I was looking for the fabric that I had used on the other one I stitched, the other Astara that I stitched, and I couldn't find it. But I came across a different fabric and thought, huh, that works. So I ended up using this green fabric that is from Silk Weaver. This is vintage Silk Weaver. This was from one of my Fabric of the Month pieces. I think this color is called Evergreen, and I believe this is a 32 count. And I really liked the way it looked. I thought it was springy. I think the butterflies and the bird and the bunny and the duck goose, whatever that is, showed up well on here. So I was quite pleased with it. In the so originally she calls for basically a pink and a blue, and that's how I did the other one, was with a pink and a blue. And I decided I just didn't want to do that on this one, and with the addition of putting it on this green fabric, I thought instead of using blue, I'm going to use green. So I have this beautiful green overdyed that I will show you here momentarily that I used, and I really like the way that it turned out. So this will get finished in a small pillow with crushed walnut shells, just like Yule was, and I still need to do the finishing on M-Book as well. So I stitched this over, 2 or 3 nights, and it was honestly, it was the perfect thing because it was small. Even though I was changing my colors, it wasn't overwhelming like Dutch Beauty is, and it was the perfect thing for me to focus on spring and the changing of the seasons, and I was really happy with that. So I'm glad that I got that out. And it sort of, after a few nights of not being able to stitch, it kind of got me back in the swing of things. So I stitched that, and then when I finished that, I saw all of the Be Well and Stitch freebies that were out, and I decided, you know what, I think I need another new start. But again, I don't want anything that's going to be huge. So I decided to stitch one of the Be Well and Stitch freebies, the one that spoke to me. So here it is. This is the one by Lucy Beam, and this is on fabric that I think Sylvia dyed. And I used all of the called for colors except for the flowers. For the flowers, I used Country Redwood because I think it calls for tomato, and I don't have tomato, but I wanted them to be sort of a deep red, and I love how the variegation worked out. And I just put my initials here. I was going to put 2020, but I couldn't make it work, so it just says ML, but not well, so it's hard to read, so I may pull it out and put 2020 in there anyway. But I think this may be a 36 count fabric. I used 2 strands on it, and I did this over 2 or 3 nights, I think. So, and this is on the other half of my piece of linen that I'm doing Hallow Eden on. So, but I enjoyed that. I don't know how I'm going to finish that yet. I was thinking I might make it into a pillow as well. And then when I finished that, I decided to go back to my piece that I started when I was in Miami for Emily's A Very Scarlet birthday sale. I never did get to my little red chair sampler, but that's okay. So I started this when I was in Miami at the beginning of March. It's hard to read, but it's the Coverlet Berry Scissor Tray. It's also hard to see the design because the strawberries and the scissors are laying on top of it, but it does get finished into this tray, this metal tray, and I have the tray actually. The chart and the fabric and the threads for it were all part of a gift that was in an exchange that I did a couple summers ago. So I thought, you know what, it's time to stitch this puppy. And because it was small, I thought it was the perfect thing to take traveling. And then of course, once everything got locked down, it was the perfect small to work on, because I couldn't really focus on anything larger than that. And here are the threads. So it's, you know, 3 colors of green, a red and black. And I love that limited palette. I have it on my thread ring from, stop it, from Socks for Mom that has a Tudor rose on it, and there's a crown on the back. Stop it. And I'm passing this chart on to a fellow stitcher who has passed charts on to me previously. So I picked this up and finished it. So I enjoyed stitching on this. It was different, really. I'm gonna eat your bullet journal. It was, you know, there were lots of little doodads to fill in, and it was just, you know, again, it was the perfect thing to work on. So, and this is stitched on 40 count straw flower, which I believe is Lakeside. So, and I still have half a piece left that I can stitch something else on. So I have this done now. So now I have 3 pieces that need to be FFO'd. And, oh, yes, not Evergreen, that's Everglade, 32 count, which is the green linen silk weaver. So now I have these 3 pieces that need to be FFO'd, and I have some other pieces that need to be FFO'd, and it would have made total sense for me to take part in the finishing weekend that Amy Baruch hosted for her birthday finish along, as well as I believe it was International FFO weekend, but I just had stuff going on and I just couldn't do it. So I will have to work on my FFOing some other time. So those are my finishes. And like I said, I kind of just, that's what I worked on, you know, through March and into April a little bit. I think I finished the scissor tray on April 1st or something. I was trying to finish it before the end of the month, but I didn't make it, it's fine. So, then I picked up, at that point I decided I'm gonna try to go back to something larger that I wanna work on, try to go back to a sampler, but something that is not requiring decision making. So I decided to go back to His Eye is on the Sparrow, since that's one of my focus pieces this year. And yeah, so here's where I'm at, and I will insert a photo of what it looked like when I picked it up here. So this is where I'm at now. So basically, I stitched this motif, the flower motif. I stitched the big wreath that your initials and the year go in, and then I have started work on this house. So I had pretty much done to here, minus that wreath, when I picked it up. So I'm working on the center portion of the house now, and I'm going to try to get the house all complete and then sort of move my way. This is the center point. So the other side is mirrored of this side. So I think I'm just going to work my way across. And I'm using the called for colors, which are Gentle Arts. Is it all Gentle Arts? I don't remember. There may be some other overdyes in there, and I'm stitching it on 48 count Gonder linen that Sylvia dyed for us. And of course that keeps changing colors as it's going. So I love this linen, but you know, a lot of people comment on how dark my colors are or how vibrant they are, and it's because it's on 40 count. I am using one strand, but 40 count makes it really, really good. Gives it a little punch. Those bright, beautiful, saturated colors. So that's where I'm at on that. And I've been enjoying working on it. You know, some nights I don't get more than a few stitches in. Other nights I do pretty good. So I'm just sort of going with it. And I've decided that I'm pretty much just going to work on this until I don't feel like working on it anymore. There is something that is just sort of, you know, that I really like the idea of working on this through, you know, however long we're at home. So that's my plan anyway. So I'm just going to keep working on this. And I mentioned that, oh, and that was the other thing I was going to mention. So we talked last time, I talked about my Piney Woods? That was the problem? Yes. I talked about my Piney Woods being that the new skein that I got was brown and not green. And so a very, very sweet person offered to send me a skein of Piney Woods that is green. I'm so happy. So thank you, thank you, thank you. I so appreciate it. That really saved my bacon. So, but yeah, green versus brown. I don't know why I'm folding this back up in here. It needs to just go with my threads, but I was holding it separate till I showed it to you. So, okay. So, I mentioned that we had our guild meeting virtually, and then I have had a couple other virtual stitch-ins with some friends, which has been really fun, but I do find that it makes it hard for me to concentrate on what I'm stitching. So I really kind of needed something that I didn't have to count or focus on too much. And so I thought, because Jen Quirks and Stitches decided to do the Stay Home and Finish Your Whips Sal, which I'm all about, I thought, you know, what else do I have that I can just, you know, focus on finishing up, sort of as, you know, a side project to Sparrow. And my first thought was with you know, with the piece of linen that I have that I did my Be Well and Stitch piece on, you know, Hallow Eden's on the other side of that. So I thought, well, I could just work on that since it's out. And I may still do that. But then I thought, you know what? I have a piece that needs fill-in done, and that's all it needs. So maybe I should just work on that. So I decided to work on that. This is in my Harry Potter potions bag that a friend made me. And this is my From the Deep piece. This is Plum Street Samplers. It's an old Plum Street Samplers. And in the, in the original design, there's, you know, words up here and then the mermaid down at the bottom. And she's not in a circle. She's sort of, you know, or no, I guess she is, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, she is. But it's larger than the circle that I have based it on here. But you may recall that I have a circular frame that I want to put this in. And so I, you know, sort of made a template and then based it around how far I need to go out to fill this in. So all that's lacking on her is just that fill-in. So I thought, what a perfect thing to work on when I'm sitting on a Zoom call or whatever and chit-chatting and not paying attention to my stitching. So I actually brought this all the way up to the top, so I finished that, and then I have started working to the side of her head there. And I thought, you know what, if I just work on this when I'm on you know, a virtual stitching chat, maybe it'll get done. And this is all in DMCs except for the background thread of the water. I actually am using an NPI for that because I wanted this sort of grayish blue, and I had the perfect NPI, so that's what I'm using. And this is on lamb's wool of some sort. It may be 32 count lamb's wool, which I hate because it's like cheesecloth. It's horrible. But since this was going to be completely full coverage, I don't really care because you're not going to see any of that fabric. So it's horrendous to stitch on. It's scratchy and it's see-through. So, but I thought I would work on her. And the other thing I realized as I was kind of flitting from project to project is I got to thinking, wouldn't it be nice if I had a little, like a notions bag, basically, that I can pull out of one project bag, put in another project bag, that has like my scissors and maybe some spare needles and my glasses and, you know, whatever. And so I went on this lengthy foray into looking for fabric and what fabric could I use, and I need to, you know, make something fabulous so that I can use it as a little notions pouch that's a little bit bigger than, you know, scissor jail, so that you know, one, so that I have the scissor jail, but two, that I can just pick it up and move it to another bag easy. And then when I was pawing through my projects, I came across this, which is the notions pouch that goes with the larger project bag that Diana, It Is Kismet Stitches, made for me. And I was like, huh, maybe I should just use this. So I have this in with my From the Deep piece, and I have my glasses in here. I have a pair of scissors in here. I have a pencil in here because I was actually writing down how I was changing colors on something. Oh, on that Astara piece. I have a little needle minder and my 3-inch square from Blue Ribbon Designs if I need to start something. Go figure. And I have some extra Bowen needles too. So I can just pull this out of the bag and put it in another bag. So thanks, Diana. So, Sparrow and From the Deep, that's really what I've been working on. So, the other thing I have been doing is stress shopping. You guys know I do not buy a lot of stash because I have more stash than I could ever deal with. And I have more whips than I know what to do with, so I don't need new projects, right? Yeah. But I decided I was going to treat myself to a market purchase, which I did. And I decided to order from Abby at her Top Knot Stitcher shop. And I absolutely fell in love with this market release and had to have it. Right? It's so me. Primitive Hair, the Raven. I needed it for my bird wall, aka I also needed it for my Gothic sampler wall. Right? I totally did. So I got this, and then I decided part of what really makes this piece is the linen. So I had to get the linen too. So this is Bolin linen. It is 30 count. I don't care. And I'm really excited to try it. I don't know when I'm going to start this, but I had to have it, of course. So I ordered that, super quick shipping. I think I ordered it like the Sunday or Monday of market and had it in my hot little hands pretty quick. And Abby included this limited edition Gentle Art thread in this beautiful variegated green. And guess where I used this variegated green? In my Astara piece, because it just seemed too perfect. So it's already had some use. So I ordered that, and then I was like, I'm done. Then I decided, well, maybe I won't buy stitching stash, but maybe I need something else. So I bought crystals. I bought these from Energy Muse, they have a wonderful website. They have a book. They have a great Instagram account. She's been doing live videos on Instagram as well with different things since all of this happened, teaching you about crystals and all that good stuff, which is fantastic. So this one is, it's kind of a purplish stone. This is Iolite, and it's really beautiful in person. And I'm now all into palm stones rather than the smaller tumbled stones like I normally keep in my pocket. So like right now, I have these two in my pocket. This is lepidolite, which is good for anxiety, and this is K2, which is good for headaches and tension. So I have those in my pocket right now. But I've been really digging on palm stones lately, so I got this one. And iolite is really good for creativity. And then I got this one, which is stunning. This is blue apatite. And it is also for inspiration and motivation. And I thought these two were perfect because I am throwing them on the table and scaring my cat. But I am working on charting new designs. So I thought these two things would help keep me inspired and creative and motivated to do that, especially right now. So I got those, and I'm super happy with them. And I was super happy when they came out of quarantine in the garage and I could have them. Then I decided, after I watched Teresa Kitten Stitcher's video for Market, that I maybe needed something else for Market. So I ordered this. And I got this from Trisha at 3L Threads because I just had to. Seeing it on Teresa's video, I was just like, oh man. And especially seeing it there with Sparrow right next to it. Yeah. I needed it. So I got this. Not planning on starting it anytime soon. Obviously, I want to finish Sparrow first, but yeah, had to have it. Had to have it. And then because I was still in my Gothic sampler wall thing, I purchased a pattern from an Etsy seller that I have been wanting forever and ever and ever, and finally just pulled the trigger. And I only have this printed out in black and white, so I will insert a photo here. So this is Know Thyself, and it's by Blackwood and Briar, and it's stunning. I'm just absolutely in love with it. And the pattern is really beautifully laid out. You know, she has this cover page where she talks a little bit about the design. She has a page where she tells you, you know, gives you your color key, all of that, and also how many skeins of everything that you need. There's a huge photo here that would be much more impressive if it was in color. The chart, and then of course she gives you some tips and resources of where to purchase, you know, things, etc. So, well worth it. I'm very excited about this. I, you know, haven't even looked to see if I have fabric or anything for it. I probably don't have fabric, but I probably have the threads, so yeah. Then on the Fans of Blackbird Designs group, there was someone had, I think, passed on a lot of patterns that Patricia was going through the list of people that had in search of requests in the group and giving those people first dibs on purchasing at, of course, a good price, the Blackbird, patterns, most of which were out of print, hard to find, etc. And so I quick got on there and put in my in search of request. And a friend of mine reached out and said, hey, I saw your request in the group and I have that pattern and I would love to send it to you. So now I have it. So this is the antithesis of the Gothic sampler wall. This is Summer House by Blackbird Designs. It is Loose Feathers number 14, so it's an old one. I do not know what it is about this piece, but I am absolutely enamored with it. Just completely in love with it. And Abby just started it. Abby Bellastitch just started it a couple weeks ago. So I'm excited to watch her progress on this, but I am so thrilled to finally have this piece. I've been wanting to stitch it forever. I was gonna look and see if there was a date on this. (2005). So, super happy, super happy. So that came to live with me, and then I decided 2 days ago, on the 8th, which was our wedding anniversary, I decided that one of the things that I also really wanted for market was some of the new Gentle Arc thread called Witching Hour. And I have a piece that I really want to stitch with that. And I think it would be perfect for my Gothic sampler wall. Even though it's not black silk, I think it will be really pretty. So I went looking around for who had it, and Fire Poppies had it. And of course I am familiar with Fire Poppies thanks to Nicole of Nicole's Needlework. So they had it, and I bought 3 skeins of it. And it's kind of a purplish brown. It's really pretty. And that's not coming across at all, but it is beautiful, trust me. But I think it will be really pretty on the piece that I have planned to use this on. And I got 3 skeins because I thought, why not? I like the color, so I'll use it. And of course, no thread can travel alone. And I decided the other day that instead of buying charts, I should really be buying fabric so that I can stitch some of the charts I already have. So I decided to try some Legacy linen 37 count because I have never tried it before in Russian Tea Cake, which is a beautiful neutral. And I just thought, you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot. See what I think. And like I said, I think these will be really, not necessarily on this fabric, but I think they'll be really pretty. So Russian Tea Cake, 37 count. And I got a good size piece. I got a fat quarter. So I can definitely stitch a sampler on that for sure. And let me tell you, I placed my order literally 10 minutes later. Like, I got my email, hey, we got your order. 10 minutes later, I had a second email that said, your order is shipped. And it was here today. And I ordered it on Wednesday, 2 days ago. And there may be something else coming. Just saying. I'll show it to you when it comes. So plans, like I said, I'm going to keep going on Sparrow as long as it holds my interest, because I'd really like to see some good progress on it. And if I end up just stitching on that through this whole stay-at-home thing, I'm fine with that. If I finish it, you'll know we've been here a long time. But I'm enjoying it, so I'm just going to stick with it. And then I'm also going to stick with my From the Deep piece and doing that mindless fill-in when I need to. Excuse me. Do that mindless fill-in, when I'm on calls or whatever, and see if I can get that piece knocked out too, because then that's one more thing off my whip list. And then the other thing I want to do is I printed out the next Sabbath piece from Primitive Hair. This is the one for Beltane, the King, Queen of the May. And so I need to figure out what I'm going to do thread-wise and fabric-wise and get that pulled. But this is the next one, and I'd like to get this started sometime soon. So, and obviously Dark 13 stitching is coming on Monday. And I don't know if I'm just going to keep going on Sparrow or if I'm going to pull something else out. If I pull something else out, I'm tempted to just pull out Hallow Eden that I showed you, because it's kind of near the top of the pile and it's on my mind. So I may just pull that out and work on it. See if I can't get a little farther on it. We'll see. I may just keep going with Sparrow. So, yeah, I think that's it. So, stay safe, stay healthy, keep stitching, and I appreciate you guys watching and commenting and subscribing. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate you being interested in what I have to show and what I have to say and all that good stuff. So thanks for joining, and also be looking for those other videos that I put up once I get this one up. So thanks, guys. Happy stitching.